Oh man, it is hot already. I might have to move over to the shade. In fact, I think I will. I'm only in my t-shirt and underwear, but it's very early in the morning. Well, I have my robe kind of wrapped around me. I think we will move over to the shade. It was kind of chilly when I first got up, so I have this robe on, but then I sat down right here where the sunshine was out. Whew. I was already all sweaty and gross. That dumbass neighbor. I was hoping that he would have his stupid gate shut this morning so I could let my horses out early. He went to all the trouble yesterday to work all day on a fence and gate and then doesn't shut the freaking thing. I wonder if he'd have a heart attack if I went over there and shut it for him. I really want to let these guys out today. I'm out of grain already. 2 bags of grain in like 4 days they ate. Why is it that your first cup of coffee in the morning, that first drink, is like heaven? And I mean, like, the minute it touches your lips, it's like, oh, that feels so good. Then, like, by the 3rd cup, it's like, that tastes like crap. That might be one of the things you don't know about me yet, is that, because I've never shared my true addiction to the coffee bean. I drink coffee all day long, and I drink about a cup. I drink about a pot by myself in the. Well, I kind of have cut back a little bit in the morning, because like I said, after just a cup or 2, it just doesn't taste good to me. But then by noon, I have to make another pot. If I didn't get enough in the morning. If I did, I will not want any more till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I make a fresh pot between like 2 or 3. In the afternoon, and no one else in the house drinks coffee except in the morning. But I drink it all day, and it drives my husband crazy. Especially when he comes in there and sees me make coffee at 10 o'clock at night. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" It doesn't keep me awake though. I've been drinking it for so darn long. I've been drinking coffee since I was like 9 or 10. Probably before that, but not habitually. But it's been a habit since I was like 9. I like it with a lot of cream and a lot of sugar in it, and I always have. I used to just drink it with sugar, but because that's all my mom ever had. But when I grew up and moved away, I fell in love with creamer. I think it made me really fat one time. When I started it, excuse me, I think when I first got started on the creamer, it made me really fat. And my husband never drank cream in his coffee till he met me. Now we both do, and he likes a lot of cream in his coffee now, but no sugar. Ugh. Blech. That's the other thing. Coffee doesn't taste good to me without sugar in it. Look what this mug says. Take this job and shove it. This is old. I think my husband got this when he retired or something from one of his first jobs that he had, you know. Like, he's had this cup forever, ever since I've known him. I broke it, though, of course. I break everything. See, knocked a bit of a chunk in it and pissed him off. Oh, man, I woke up early this morning. I woke up about 6:20. Didn't go to bed till almost 2 a.m. Neither did my hubs. He'll be asleep till late now because he was up way too late messing around with that hay and stuff. And Olivia woke up right after I woke up. I guess the days of Olivia sleeping in until 10 or 11 or whenever her little heart desired are over, because now her clock is kind of set to get up early in the morning now. Dang. But this morning I said, it's like 6:15, 6:20, you don't need to get up yet. And she said, okay. She's not feeling good this morning. She went back to bed. But now when I went in there, she was just kind of laying there looking at the ceiling. Hey, look. Still don't know what that is. I gotta look it up. There we go. It has something to do with the light, but I don't see it. It automatically like brightens that thing. I gotta stop holding it right there. Tired. I wasn't ready to get up, but I need to go to the bathroom real bad. And if I'm going to have like company in the morning, and my mom's coming over like 10, 11 o'clock today, if I'm going to have company in the morning, I have to get up very early to even get ready for company. I'm not an early riser, but if I'm going to be doing something early in the morning, like if I have to get going somewhere, I have to get up like 2 hours just 2 hours before, just to like wake up. You know, I don't jump up out of bed and go, okay, I'm ready to go now. I can, but it's never pretty for the people that are accompanying me. Weird thing happened the other night. You see my wedding ring? I always wear my engagement ring and then my band, you know, like in the order that it came. There's a big buzzball stuck to it. And the other morning, for some reason, as soon as I sat up, I looked down at my hand, and my engagement ring was gone. But I still had the band on, which means that the band was removed, the engagement ring was removed, and then the band was put back on. And I found my engagement ring over by the front door on a little table. My hair looks terrible this morning. I slept pretty hard. Over by the front door on a little table. Like a couple hours later. And I was frantic because one time I did lose my wedding band, and it's so teeny tiny, you see it. It's so very small and thin that if I lose it, I can't even see it. And I was a little bit worried about it, but there it was. And I've determined that Barry's still my stuff, or gnomes, or some damn thing. God. Some damn thing. And that morning I was sure of it. I was like, see? It had to have taken the whole set off and put the band right back on. And took the thing. Now people think I'm crazy for sure. But I do believe that. Someday I'll tell you about all the crazy experiences I've had of stuff being stolen from me and found in other places. And I actually saw some brownies when I was a kid. When I was 10 years old, I saw some little brownies climbing up the side of my bed. It was weird. I still remember it very vividly, too. And I was wide awake. I was not dreaming, and they were real. Someday I'll have to tell you about that. I shared it with my friend, Miss Quiet Queen, but I've never told anybody else that, so now the men in the white coats will probably show up. Somebody will call them now, for sure. That tastes so good. So what's up today? Shoot, I have no idea. I hope that it is cool today. We're supposed to get a little rain. And, like I said, Mom's coming over a little bit early this morning because she ordered some doll parts, and she's going to start making reborn dolls. So I'm giving her a crash course in painting this morning. And I know she'll be very good at it. I bet she becomes famous because my mom's a really great artist, and she was a great painter when I was a kid. She used to paint stuff. And, well, I was naturally inclined to be artistic as a kid, and my mom was always like, where did she get that from? There's nobody like that in our family. Well, ended up that my mom was very artistic. She just needed a little bit of guidance. And she started doing like, when her and my stepdad, my second stepdad were married. Mom's been married a few times. She was a golf widow. He golfed all the time. They could never see eye to eye on, their side things that they like to do. If they weren't drinking or gambling, that's the only things they had in common, so they did nothing together. And so my mom started taking all these toll painting classes and stuff, and spent tons of money on brushes and all this kind of stuff, and it ended up that with a little bit of encouragement, my mom was quite a little artist. So I think she'll be good at the painting the babies. Put this back here. You really don't need these on while you're recording, except for that it does help to hold this other thing a little bit stable. This one works really good. I think this is the best one I've had. And it's a Travelocity one, and it has a picture of the little gnome, the Travelocity gnome on the package. This is the best one, $8.95. So, is that a hole? So that must be a microphone hole there too. But then it has 3 over here. It has a teeny tiny one there. So anyway, she'll be coming over to do that. So we'll be doing that. Hopefully it will not get too hot today. I would love to get out and get some weeds pulled. Though it's not going to do any good because there's no way that I can you really make a dent in it. But God, look at the weeds right here. Those are the ones that the animals love to eat, those taller ones. And then all that little stuff right there is like some wild little sunflower type flowers that pop up, and they grow to all different heights. But God, look at all those weeds. What a blessing. There's some big old sunflowers over there. I planted those seeds late in the spring, or almost still in the winter. I started putting seeds out. My gray pumpkins still haven't sprouted. Mom and I went out there yesterday and tried to find them, and there's the lock again. And we couldn't find them. They haven't sprouted, or a bunny rabbit or something got them. That happens a lot. If the sprouts are very yummy and the bunnies love them. So it looks like we're not going to have any gray pumpkins this year. I kind of reported the neighbor about his garden the other day while I was at the water company. I felt the need. That has bugged me. And the fact that he got away with it, I think that's what made me the maddest. Because there they were basically threatening people, $1,500 fine if you use water and you're not, and they didn't do nothing to him. And they probably won't now, but at least I, felt better about kind of ratting him out. Jackass. All right, well, I think that's about the size of it this morning. I don't got nothing nice to say. I can tell today's going to be a grumbly day. Look at I need to dye my hair. Look at that. God. My hair, this part right here, like this whole part, you can see where it's lighter. That's naturally white hair now, right up to here. And on this side, so over here, there's quite a bit. And then there's white hair all through it. My biological father had white hair by the time he was 30 years old. And I met him when he was like 35. I never knew my real father till I was 14, 13. Yeah, 13. And he already had white hair by the time I met him. See, 13, so that would have made my mom 33, and he was 8 years older than my mom. So he was 41 when I met him. My biological dad was in the Navy, and him and my mother got divorced. Oh, Charlotte asked me this question the other day, so I'm going to go ahead and explain it, since I'm here. And it was during the Cuban Missile Crisis that I was born, actually. And my mom and one other woman were the only women left on the whole island of Key West. They had evacuated everybody, but they kept my mom because she had a low or a high risk pregnancy. And then they kept this other woman because she was pregnant too, but there was something, I heard the inside house ringing already, phone ringing already. Really? 7:30 a.m.? And so they were left there until they delivered, and so I was born in the middle of the Cuban Missile Crisis in Key West, Florida. My mom was the only one of two women that wasn't evacuated out of there. Pregnant women. I'm sure there was some other patients, some other type of patients, medical patients or whatever, that didn't get evacuated, but my mom didn't. And she was only 20 years old. I can't imagine being sitting in Key West, Florida, right before the Cuban Missile Crisis, waiting for a baby to come. Scared to death, you know, all by yourself. Anyway, my dad was out in the Navy, and so when I was born, I still have the telegram that they sent my dad out on the ship, and said, "You have a baby girl, and wife and baby girl need daddy to come home," it said. They airlifted my dad off the ship. I was very, very premature. I almost died. My mom almost died. And they airlifted us in, airlifted Dad in, and he, come on. I'm really coughing this morning. Come on. Don't anybody say nothing about me smoking either, because I don't care. I don't want to hear it. He locked 3 times. That's a record. Anyway, brought my dad home, and he said he was going to go get cleaned up. This is a story my mom tells anyway. Said he was going to get cleaned up and come back to the hospital, and he never came back. But he did make it to Miami and had himself a hooker while he was there. And didn't come back till I was about 9 months old, I think. That's the first time I saw my dad. And you won't believe it, but I remember it. I remember it clear as a bell. Very small pieces, but I remember my daddy at 9 months old. And then he left back out to the ship again. And my mom and him split up when she was 18 months old, when I was 18 months old. And we drove from Key West back to Albuquerque, my mom's hometown. And my parents got divorced, and I was adopted by my stepdad. After he married my mom, I was adopted when I was 4. And so that's why I was adopted. But my brother and I share the same mother. But I was adopted by my stepfather, so I'm like half adopted, half natural kid. So I kind of feel it from both sides sometimes, you know, like I know what it feels like to be an adopted kid and not know who your parent is. But I also know what it's like to have your natural parent and be loved very much by them. And to be loved by my stepdad, who is still my daddy, that adopted me. And though we don't speak very much because we fight over my brother, he's still my daddy, and he's loved me for 45 years. All right, I have got to go. It's 18 minutes and 49 seconds. I don't have a clue what I've been rambling about this whole time, so I better get going. But I hope y'all have a wonderful day. It's Saturday, so I will be spending my next hour or so watching my favorite Saturday morning videos. I try to catch up on a few subscriptions, and then I watch a lot of urban exploration videos, people that go into empty houses and buildings and places where they shouldn't be and poke around. That's one of my favorite things to do. And so I watch a few of those. I'd like to tell you to watch my girl Tiki Treks, Tikitrex, 40-something woman, urban exploration, nerves of steel. This woman goes places that most women would not go in the dark.